Ready when you are.
So some of the topics I covered today were first tree fertilization, mature tree fertilization, as well as the diseases that we tend to see through the summer. So we'll briefly outline those. First tree fertilization, we're looking around 4 applications of nitrogen applied throughout the season, and it can be applied throughout the entire season, pretty much from leaf out to October-ish. With mature trees, we want to split that application up. 75 to 80% of our nitrogen budget needs to go on from leaf out until probably mid-May, with the rest of it, the 20 to 25% going on post-harvest. We can determine our nitrogen budget by calculating, assuming about 85 pounds of nitrogen removed with every 1,000 kernel pounds. And research has shown that we tend to see a response to nitrogen cap out around 250 pounds of nitrogen, regardless of crop load the previous years, give or take, a few percents there, or a few pounds of nitrogen there. Potassium, we're using about 60 to 65 pounds of actual potassium per 1,000 kernel pounds. And that nutrient can be applied pretty much at any given time in the year, since it's a positively charged cation linked to the soil. So we're seeing dormant applications, in-season applications, whatever it takes to get that much potassium on. Some of the disease issues that we talked about were scab and rust. Scab, we missed the time. We're beyond the timing for effective scab control, but for rust, that timing begins 5 weeks from petal fall onward. So we're kind of just entering that period, depending on which variety you have. And we're looking at pretty much any chemistry for the most part will provide rust control. And probably, depending upon your rush pressure, it's recommended based upon the conditions we're experiencing. And then maybe a multiple application that can be added into your hull split spray could be considered, depending upon your personal risk factor. The last thing we talked about was hull rot. Research has shown that hull rot can be reduced, not eliminated, reduced in an orchard by the application of a minor water stress applied at the onset of hull split. So we're talking about -15 using a pressure chamber. We carry that stress for 2 weeks. So this would be right when you see that suture develop. We'll start at that point, carry it for an extra week. And this equates about anywhere between a 25 to 50% reduction in water applied for that 2-week period. After the 2 weeks, we go back to full irrigation. It's a short period. It doesn't continue after that 2 weeks. Nitrogen reduction, that's where we want to get that nitrogen out by mid-May, so the tree has a chance to burn through the reserves in the soil and starts pulling a little bit of the N out of the hull to reduce that conducive environment for fungal infection. So take a look at the longer video if you want more details, but that will cover the basic outline of diseases.